Hey, good morning, everyone. You're taking a live look over the plaza right now. It is gray, gray, gray out there. A few showers actually moved through the area not too long ago. We're currently having that wet weather out to the north, closer to the Iowa border. We've got the big wet weather coming in by mid to late this morning, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. We're going to be getting into some more heavier downpours. I could actually already start seeing it on our radar system just south of our viewing area from Franklin, Anderson, and Lynn counties. Already starting to see some severe thunderstorm warnings pop up down south around Oklahoma. Hopefully we don't see that, but it is something that I'm going to keep my eyes on. We do not anticipate to see severe weather for today, but I don't want to rule out a little bit of rogue instability. Maybe one or two of those storms possibly going severe as they make it into our region for the day side. Good morning to you guys. First Warn 5 meteorologist Greg Bennett here. It is a first warn that is in place for today and for tomorrow. It is for widespread rain and thunderstorm activity. And when it comes down to the Royals game, there are some games that are going to be soakers, others that are just going to be downright chilly out the door. And today is going to be kind of a combination of both of those things. First things first, though, I want to bring you out there towards the radar system and show you what we've been seeing over the past hour. Just a few isolated scattered showers developing through the area that we've been monitoring here. But just to the south, as you can see, we have got some heavier rain. And you can see those little icons of lightning there. Yep, that is thunderstorm activity. And just to the south, again, just within Oklahoma, you can see this closer to around Grove and looks like, what is that, Colcord, and around the Pryor Creek area. A severe thunderstorm warning box is in place in those locations. Now, I do believe that this is most definitely going to dissipate by the time it lifts to the north, but could we still see run-of-the-mill thunderstorm activity? Absolutely. And this is how close it's starting to get here. They're just around the Anderson County and Lynn County areas from Kincaid to Mound City. It's just outside the viewing area that we're starting to rumble in that wet weather. So we're basically right on cue for those wider spread, heavier showers and downpours, and of course, maybe a couple of rumbles and flashes, rumbles of thunder and flashes of lightning out there. I'm going to get into the future forecast model just to show you what I'm talking about, because this is going to be impactful for the game today. All right, so let's pull forward here, and actually I'm going to back this up to about, there we go, 10, 11 a.m. This is where it can get more aggressive with storm activity. Notice the yellows and the oranges indicative of that heavier rain. You can see some kind of flashes of lightning and some of the icon stuff that we have. All of this is data driven, raw data that comes in. We produce a forecast, a prediction of what the weather is going to do. And this one is indicating that we could definitely see some storms out there. The opportunity for this to be around the metro, I-70, absolutely. That is still in the mix here. You can't look at this and go, oh, it's going to exactly wind up around Clinton and Warrensburg and St. Joe. No, there are still opportunities for this to shift closer to the city. Could be maybe around Paola, maybe some of this around Lacine and Ottawa as well. So this just gives you an idea of where we could see the heaviest rain and some storm activity, at least timing-wise. That's what I want to concentrate on. Notice where we are with these heavier greens and yellows nonetheless, right there around the metro at 11 a.m. Let's move forward to the mid-afternoon. Maybe you're going to want to head over to the K around this time frame. And we still have this kind of on and off rain, maybe a bit of thunderstorm activity just to the east of the K and Arrowhead there on its way towards Odessa along I-70. Then we move forward into the mid and late afternoon, and this is where we had the second round of maybe a few stronger storm cells that occur. And there it is right there. It's a brief kind of pop-up that we can get here with a little bit of instability on the back end of this area of low pressure from the south. But it still does bring in some thunderstorms in close proximity to the stadium. It is something that we're monitoring closely for potentially some lightning delays out there that may ensue, right? Because today, if I'm not mistaken, is bark at the park. You know, you could bring your animal, your dog there today. There's a specific gate that you want to go to as well. But when we've got these kind of wet conditions, may not be a situation you want to go to, and who knows, they may actually postpone the game just because of the raininess that's going to be out there. As we move on into the evening, however, it does get a little bit better, more heavy clouds and light shower or drizzle activity. This is a little bit better for us here. Heavy cloud cover will remain through this time frame, and then we'll continue with this on and off kind of isolated shower or two right through into Saturday morning. By the time we get to mid and late morning, we're going to rebound some of this wet weather, surge it out of the south, and bring in more widespread rain to the mix. There it is, 7, 8 a.m., finally late morning again, bringing in some storms. But this is as aggressive as it really gets for Saturday. I-70 and south are going to be the higher chances to see wet weather for our Saturday forecast. If you are north of this, basically, we'll call it Leavenworth, right? Fort Leavenworth and north. It should be more just hefty cloud cover for the day overall rather than getting into that wet weather opportunity. And even this, if you do live further south, Olathe to Lee Summit, and of course our friends further south, such as Butler and Lacine, that heavy downpour activity and thunderstorms, again, not necessarily looking at severe weather activity here, should be gone as we move on into the mid-afternoon. Again, more heavy cloud cover is looking common in these locations too, so be prepared for that, but it is not a complete washout for the weekend. But there is that wet weather. And of course, being that about 50% of the viewing area is going to be receiving that wet weather, another first warn will be in place for our Saturday morning because it may have you postponing your outdoor plans, maybe changing things up a little bit that you had further planned maybe earlier this week. Now, with all of that being said, it does affect our temperatures greatly, okay? I want to show you what happens with them. I'm going to go straight to the Security Bank 7-day forecast and just show you the entirety of it because today's high temperature is only 50 degrees. Some of us are going to be lingering in the upper 40s, and we're dealing with wet weather. Moving on into Saturday, the afternoon is drier overall, but upper 40s will be common. And then we get into overnight Saturday towards Sunday morning, 32 degrees. That is the freezing mark, and that is something that we are monitoring closely here, not just for your garden, maybe some of the flowers that you just planted, but there are signs that yet more winter weather, you heard me right, winter weather is plausible. That's what that 20% chance is for Sunday. Strictly for the morning, but it does show us an opportunity for some snow shower chances. I cannot believe I'm saying that. It's more like a flurry or a winter mix, but it is a storm system that we're monitoring, and this is the brand new update that came down the line for us. Here's Sunday, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're seeing that coloration of pink. That's a winter mix that we are watching out for. It continues to build right up to the southern end, then to the I-70 corridor, and then, oh my goodness, light blues, maybe some whites. That's indicative of actually getting into flurry action. Mid-morning Sunday, and this will be around that freezing mark time frame, the temperature dropping down to the low 30s. So it is conducive if we have the moisture content, and it seems to be popping up in several of our forecast model runs. So we're not quite done yet with winter, even though we are in spring. I am only the messenger. I am just the messenger on this one, okay? Now, the good news. Back to the Security Bank 7-day forecast, where we do see a nice rebound in temperature, pulling back to the upper 60s and lower 70s for next week. So there's good news. There's your light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I do want to go ahead and concentrate overall on a particular forecast, which is going to be, pardon me, as I try to kind of navigate things and keep the 7-day up for you. One of them is Sunday's outlook. You see how we've got the Royals icon there. It's a special day because KCTV5 will be airing that live for free on our television station. It's an exciting day, and we want you to watch it with us. But overall, when it comes down to the K and what we could see in the forecast for wet weather, I want to show you what that may look like moving forward. So we're going to pop this up now 50s to the mix. You saw that for the daytime highs. About a 30, honestly, I think I'm going to push this to a 40% rain risk, okay, overall for the Royals game itself. Our Saturday forecast, because of the timing of the game, is a measly 20% rain chance out there. And then as we move on into Sunday's forecast, yes, there is a chance for some precipitation, but it's more likely in the early and late morning time frame. The 40s and the 50s, though, will be common. And we're talking like as warm as about 55 to 57 degrees, and that's going to be about it. So if you're going to head out to the stadium, the best opportunity is Saturday and Sunday's forecast for the time frame of the games there, but you're going to want the sweaters. You're definitely going to want the sweaters. All right, friends, that's your forecast that I wanted to get you to. What you needed to know about the Royals game, what you need to know about the weekend in general with the wet weather chances that we have. I'm going to keep on tracking these storms and showers for you throughout the rest of our morning, and then the rest of the team will take over for this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful, dry, kind of dry Friday. If you can, stay dry and enjoy the weekend.